Okay, picture this. The confetti. It's still falling inside the Big Brother house.
Yeah, finale night. Always chaos.
Exactly. And the $750,000 grand prize, it's just been handed to Ashley Hollis. She's 25, a lawyer.
Right. And she beat Vince Panaro pretty handily, 6-1 in the jury vote.
Decisive. But here's the thing, the celebration. That wasn't the end game for her. Not even close. Mere hours after the live show wraps, Ashley gets on Instagram. And she doesn't just post a thank you.
No, she dropped like a tactical nuke.
Totally. A video compilation, perfectly edited, showing Vince dissing her game all season long.
Oof. With receipts from the live feeds.
Oh, yeah. And the caption. Calls him a crybaby, celebrates her win. I mean, the final move wasn't in the house, it was online. Brutal. Welcome to Starscope Report. Join Jordan and Jamie as they break down Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to viral TikTok controversies, they dive into the stories behind the headlines. And what we're really looking at here, it feels like a major shift, in how reality TV is played.
Definitely. This wasn't just gloating.
No, people are analyzing this as, like, her final strategic argument, using digital proof to control the story.
Locking down the narrative.
Exactly. So our mission today in this deep dive is to unpack this idea that winning the show, that's maybe only half of it now.
Right. The other half is winning in the court of public opinion, especially on social media.
So we're going to dig into the evidence, look at their strategies, hers versus his, and figure out why this, social media takedown felt almost inevitable after their 83 days locked up together.
Well, it's fascinating because the whole season really boiled down to these two, right? Ashley, the sort of quiet architect, versus Vince, the very loud powerhouse.
Polar opposites.
Totally. It was almost perfectly set up for this kind of public showdown afterwards.
Okay, let's break down this rivalry, starting with the winner, Ashley Hollis. They're calling her the Ella Woods Underdog.
Which is such a perfect nickname, honestly, because it gets right at her strategy. Misdirection.
How so?
So Ashley, she's a Georgetown-educated lawyer, works at a big firm.
Okay, impressive.
But she hid that.
Okay.
She went in there pretending to be, well, less threatening. She knew being a lawyer paints a huge target on your back in Big Brother.
Smart. So play dumb.
Sort of. More like play quiet. Her whole game was about social maneuvering, strategic patience. It wasn't flashy.
But wait, she barely won anything competition-wise. Didn't that hurt her? She only won, 2 comps all season?
Yeah, but look which comps she won. The power of veto in week 1, which was absolutely critical for her survival.
Okay, true. That saved her early.
And the final head of household, the most important one.
Right. So it wasn't about racking up wins. It was about winning when it counted.
Precisely. Her focus wasn't building a competition resume. It was jury management, building real bonds like with Morgan Pope, Will Williams, turning people who might have targeted her into allies.
And that explains the 6-1 vote.
It does. It shows that the jury valued those relationships, that social game, maybe more than Vince's comp wins. And then, bam, in the final speech, she drops the lawyer bomb, uses that sharp rhetoric.
The ultimate reveal. Mic drop moment.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's flip to the other side. Vince Panaro. Viva Lip.
Oh, Vinny. Yeah, 34 years old. And his game was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Loud, dominant, very emotional.
He won a ton of comps, though, right? Tied a record.
Yeah, 4 HOH reigns, which sounds great, gives you power. But he was known for wheeling and dealing the most.
Meaning?
He had final 2 deals with like half the house, which sounds good on paper maybe.
But impossible to maintain.
Right. So his whole game became this constant cycle of making promises, breaking them, and then doing damage control nonstop. Every move alienated someone. He couldn't keep track.
And that emotional volatility.
Yeah.
The jury didn't buy it.
They saw it as manipulative. The shouting, the tears.
Yeah.
They felt it wasn't genuine, it was strategy. That's where the lying and crying label came from during the jury questioning. They just felt played.
And we should probably mention the personal drama, too, the whole cheap mints situation.
Yeah, that definitely didn't help his image inside or outside the house.
Yeah.
His relationship with Morgan Pope caused waves, and then the news broke that his girlfriend of 7 years, Kelsey, she ended things while he was still in the game.
Ouch. That's rough. So the jury saw him as untrustworthy and maybe manipulative?
And you can trace the roots of that 6-1 loss all the way back, like 83 days earlier.
Week 1.
Day 1, practically. Vince won the first HOH. And who did he target?
Ashley.
Ashley. Over something ridiculous like spending too long in the HOH shower.
Seriously. That was it. Not strategy, just annoyance.
Pretty much. It was a classic rookie HOH mistake. based on a minor social blip, not a real threat assessment. And it backfired spectacularly.
Because Ashley then won the veto.
Right. It forced her hand. She had to compete immediately. She won, saved herself, and instantly became this underdog figure. Her entire 83-day game became this narrative arc of getting revenge on the guy who tried to get her out on day one.
So Vince basically created his own downfall.
In a way, yeah. He handed her the perfect storyline, the perfect motivation. It was a foundational blunder.
Okay, fast forward. Finale night again. Ashley wins that crucial final HOH. Her only HOH win, but the big one.
The only one that really matters, yeah.
And then she has to evict one person. She's sitting next to Vince and her closest ally, Morgan Pope.
And she makes what everyone immediately called the $750,000 move.
Evicting Morgan, her best friend in the game.
Absolutely ruthless. But strategically flawless.
Oh.
She knew, or at least strongly suspected, that Morgan was the bigger jury threat. She couldn't beat Morgan.
Wow. To cut your number one ally right at the end, that takes some serious nerve.
It does. Cold, calculated, clear-eyed strategy. And you know what? That kind of psychological strength, that willingness to make the hard move, that actually impressed the jury members who felt burned by Vince's wishy-washy game.
So she gets to the final two against Vince, and this is where the lawyer comes out.
Oh, absolutely. Her final speech, her answers to the jury questions, they were sharp, confident. She laid out her game clearly, and she had that one killer line that just perfectly summed up the difference between their games.
What was it?
She said something like, a Big Brother winner is someone who turns their enemies into allies, not their allies into enemies.
Oof, that's a direct shot at Vince's gameplay.
Huge shot. And it landed because everyone on that jury had been burned by Vince making alliances and then turning on them. It just resonated.
And Vince, how did he handle the jury grilling?
Terribly. That was his final mistake, really. They confronted him about the manipulation, the lying and crying. And instead of owning it, saying, yeah, that was my strategy, he doubled down.
He denied it.
Insisted his emotions were totally genuine, that he wasn't being manipulative. And the jury just didn't buy it. They saw it as one last act of dishonesty, a lack of self-awareness about how he played the game.
So he lost because he wouldn't admit he played dirty.
Essentially, yeah. That refusal to own his game sealed that 6-1 vote against him.
Okay. Which brings us back to the Instagram posts. The takedown. This wasn't just like an impulsive, angry post then.
No way. Think about it. The timing, the curated clips, the specific language.
It was ready to go, like a pre-written closing argument for the public.
Exactly. This was preemptive narrative control. Digital warfare, you could call it. Ashley understood winning the money was step one. Step two was controlling how the season would be remembered.
And Instagram was the weapon of choice.
Maximum reach, maximum virality. She didn't need to wait for post-show interviews where Vince could try to spin things his way. She set the narrative first.
She became her own editor, her own PR machine.
Pretty much. And the core of it was the receipts. Those video clips from the live feeds. Undeniable proof.
Showing him constantly downplaying her game, saying she was doing nothing.
Yeah, saying she didn't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
She took his private trash talk and made it public. Irrefutable evidence against him.
That's classic receipt culture weaponized. It's not just she said, he said, it's here's the video.
Right. It makes her argument concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And it was designed to shut down any Vince was robbed narrative before it could even start. She cemented her version of history.
And the language in the caption calling him a crybaby.
That wasn't random either. That directly echoed the jury's lying and crying critique. She was aligning her public statement with the verdict of the people who actually lived with him. It validated her perspective using their words.
Genius in a ruthless kind of way. And ending it with that callback to week one.
She got me out week one, babes. Oh, wait, you failed.
Yeah, full circle. Framing her entire win as this satisfying revenge arc from day one to the final post. She didn't just win the game, she wrote the epilogue.
But what was the reaction? I mean, that's pretty aggressive post-win behavior.
Oh, it split the fan base, for sure. Huge divide. You had one side cheering her on, like, yes, clap back, he deserved it.
And the other side.
Criticizing it as poor sportsmanship, you know, kicking a guy when he's down. Concerns about Vince's mental health after being publicly dragged like that. Yeah, that's a fair point, too. Raises that question about reality TV, right? Where's the line?
Right.
And who gets to decide what's fair game after the show ends? Is it the fans or the players themselves?
Well, interestingly, the real consensus seemed to come from the other players.
Oh, what did the rest of the cast say?
Ashley got a wave of public support online from other season 27 house guests. People like Jimmy Haggerty, others who were evicted. They basically came out and said, yeah, What Ashley posted, that reflects our experience too.
Wow. So the people who were actually in the house with Vince backed her up.
Exactly. And that carries a lot of weight, doesn't it? It reframes Ashley's post. It's not just her being salty, it's her acting as like a spokesperson for the collective house sentiment about Vince's game.
It shifts it from a personal feud to a statement about accountability for how you play.
Precisely. Her post became the final public judgment from the cast on Vince's strategy. So if you zoom out, look at the big picture here. This whole thing, Ashley versus Vince, on the show and then online,
Yeah.
it really confirms something important.
What's that?
The game doesn't stop when the check is handed over anymore. Not really.
Right. The social media game begins.
Ashley's win, both the $750 and the narrative war afterwards, it signals this shift towards a more modern, socially savvy strategy. You have to play the game, and you have to play the public perception game.
So the ultimate power move now is...
It's delivering that final killer closing argument, not just to the jury, but to the entire online audience, complete with your evidence, your receipts, making sure your version of the story is the one that sticks. The game isn't truly over until the winner posts the receipts online.
You've been listening to Starscope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.